Welcome back to the third week of this example of Magic Realm play for the captain. We've had a reasonably uneventful 2 weeks of play. We managed to upgrade our weapon to an axe, which was good, and adventured through a number of tiles, looting the richest treasure site in the game, the Hoard. But the only two things we've encountered were ghosts and bats, which neither of which we managed to kill. But I have finally made it down to the house and hired the soldier with the gold I've accumulated from looting. And the soldiers are a good native group. And now that I'm leading an army, I'm planning to head out and actually start recording some kills. I'm worried about deep woods. Those bats are very dangerous to me and my natives, and there's nothing else to be gained there. So I'm actually going to try to find some sites where we might encounter some other denizens. The first thing I might do is we're right next to a mountain site here, which I haven't explored, so I might move in there with them. Note that my soldier HQ actually can move and search independently from me, which is handy. For the moment, I'm just going to want to get him to follow me. So I'm going to perform the follow action for him, and I'll submit that. What I want to do is, he's following me now, and my other underlings, the soldiers 1, 2 and 3, I actually want to assign to follow me, so that as long as they're in the same clearing as me and they're under my employ, which is for the rest of the game, they will follow me wherever I go. Soldier HQ, of course, doesn't follow me without me actually asking him to each turn by recording the follow phase. But I can get him to move around and act independently, so he's very handy. Just quickly looking at the soldiers, they're a nice group. There are only 4 of them. They're not a huge native group, but they're quite nice. They've got some heavy hitters. They've got a great swordsman. One of the reasons I like the guard, and probably prefer the guard a little bit to the soldiers, is that they've got 3 great swordsmen, and they are big hard hitters. But these guys aren't bad. The soldier HQ has heavy vulnerability and is armoured, so he's hard to hit, hard to kill. He's easy to hit because his manoeuvre times are slow, but he packs a real punch. Look at that, tremendous with 1 sharpness star. Even losing that sharpness star against armoured tremendous opponents, he can still take them out. A couple of other heavy hitters, the soldiers can do, the pikemen both can do tremendous damage, and of course I've got a crossbowman who can undercut most enemies with that heavy 1 fight time on his dark side, and that's a pretty good hit that he can do with a very nice long weapon length. He is subject to the missile table roll, which often makes him a more disappointing native than you expect, but these guys are good. Very pleased that I've managed to hire them. So let's get into the mountain. I'm going to record 3 phases, 1 into mountain 2, 2 into mountain 5, because of course it's a mountain clearing and it's going to take 2 movement phases to get in there. And then I'll hide. I get an extra phase because I've moved moved from a dwelling. So I will alert my axe for the final phase. Soldier HQ following me. The underlings follow me anyway because I've assigned them to me. Let's alert my axe and see what's here. No treasure sites. A warning counter and a sound counter slither. Dank M, spiders, slither, dragons and serpents. I could hang around here waiting for them to turn up. I don't think that's necessarily going to be very fruitful. What I might attempt to do is get through the high pass. Now, I'm not a big fan of the caves, but I can get through into the ledges. I can go back and loot the Hoard again with the aid of Soldier HQ, can loot for me, and we can wait for dragons to turn up and see if we can deal with them. And I don't think that's a bad option at all. So finish the day. Soldier HQ followed me. The other option is to head back up into deep woods. We haven't found Lost Castle. Lost Castle is either going to be in cliff or crags because we've explored the other sites. Both of them are fairly far away. Could head back. It'd be very easy to head back up into ruins and get up to cliff. Let's do that instead. I don't think there's much joy in going back. The Tremendous Flying Dragon would actually be quite dangerous even to my Great Swordsman, so let's see if we can find some easier prey. 5 move phases. I'm not too worried about hiding now, I have to say. Even if wolves turn up in this Nutwoods, which would be the most worrying opponent, I've got 4 soldiers with me, and I think we could take care of them quite handily. I get that extra phase because I've managed to pass through a dwelling 2 on the way, although I only get the 1 extra phase. Soldier HQ can follow me. He follows me. Nothing summoned to our clearing. It's because there's a dwelling here. Campfire, large campfire. Who can come here? Company, Bashkars and Lancers. None of them I'm particularly interested in, so probably all too dangerous for us to take on as well, because the Soldier HQ soldiers are a small native group. Now, if I want to get up into ruins and cliff, which is what I'm aiming at here, I'm going to probably best take this path, which means going through that bat. I want to get past him, so I'll hide twice and move through. That bat could make very short work of my... actually, it's a risk only hiding once, 70% chance of doing it, but it is a risk. But if we can get past that bat, I can get up into that dwelling and get an extra phase recorded. The octopus is already here, he could prowl across, but with all of my natives are capable of killing him, and so am I. So I think we'd make short work of the octopus if he turned up. And I'd only end up here if I recorded 2 hides. With the advantage of getting to that dwelling, I can get right into ruins, and we can get through this, because we're already up to day 17 and I haven't recorded any fame or notoriety, so it's time to get a move on. Just have to risk not being hidden. Soldier HQ will follow me. Let's hope I get a successful hide. Failed, blocked, disappointing. Alright, well, it's time to kill the giant bat. This is actually a safe combat. There's only 1 bat again coming up against us. Most of my natives have medium vulnerability, so the giant bat could kill them, both pikemen and the crossbowmen. Soldier HQ has heavy vulnerability. The bat, even if he changes tactics, only does medium damage, so he can beat his wings all he likes against Soldier HQ, he can't kill him. The last, there's some variations here, but when I'm assigning 4 natives, the last native I deploy against a denizen will be the denizen that will be the native that denizen attacks. So as long as I commit Soldier HQ last against the giant bat, we're invulnerable, because he'll be the target of the giant bat and he can't be killed by him, if that makes sense. So I'll lure him off my sheep with a pikeman. It doesn't matter which side I flip him, he does enough damage to a heavy unarmoured bat to kill him. And as I've said, we'll deploy in that order. And the important one here is that I deploy the crossbowman and his H1 side up so that he'll undercut. He won't with his H6 side. And finally we'll deploy the invulnerable Great Swordsman. Doesn't matter which side he goes up. I don't do anything in alerting my weapon's not going to make any difference. I will assign to attack the bat. I think this bat might die. It's possible that with the vagaries of everyone moving around and repositioning, that the bat will actually escape. But I'm hoping he won't. I'll use those power gauntlets. That's excessive because I'll overswing to tremendous damage against the heavy bat, but it doesn't really matter. I can't do a fight time that will undercut him, so I'm just hoping to intercept him like all the rest of them. The bat dies. Who got him? Soldier 3 did. He changed tactics, which was stupid because he didn't undercut him, but he did intercept him, and his heavy attack was a 3 on the missile table roll, which was no change, so he killed him. Well done. 3 fame, 3 notoriety. It's a long way to go. That was a wasted turn, unfortunately, but I'll just have to live with that. So let's get out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's stay to take on the octopus, but I'd like to see what's in the cliff. I want a heavy monster bearing sight, so I'm looking for Lost Castle. Not interested in Lost City, as we've said. I'm going to be too dangerous. Soldier HQ will follow. I'm going to really have to rack up the fame and notoriety very quickly here. It's possible. Soldier HQ follows me. We move right in. I didn't bother hiding in the woods there. That will either be the small campfire or potential monsters turning up, but it must be the small campfire because the Bashkars have turned up. And they're my enemy. That's interesting. It's very interesting. So I thought they were neutral with me. So that must be the small campfire. Do I buy drinks for them or do we take them on? Where is my soldier HQ? They battle me. Didn't buy drinks. There he is. The Bashkars are a problem. They're very fast. They have ponies, which essentially means you've got to hit them twice, which is a problem because those ponies are fast and difficult to undercut. They only have light vulnerability, so any hit almost from any of my guys, except for a bad roll on the missile table from the crossbowman, is going to kill them. But they come in great numbers. My advantage here is I've got hired natives. They can't hurt. They do light with the sharpness star or medium with the sharpness star, depending on which side they're on. Their medium with the sharpness star will kill my pikemen and my crossbowmen, but their light with the sharpness star won't because all of them are armoured. They can't harm Soldier HQ. So the most dangerous of them is presumably Bashkar HQ. So I'll assign him against Soldier HQ. Doesn't matter which side Soldier HQ is up, he can't undercut that movement time of that horse. So he's going to have to intercept. I'll be stuck facing 2 of them. It's going to be a bit of a hard fight here, worth a lot of notoriety, and we can loot their gear if we win. So I hadn't planned to get into this fight, but we're going to do it anyway. Soldier 3 will lure, let's say Bashkar 3. Actually, I might get him to lure someone who can do... Yeah, I'm armoured, so I'm better off taking the hits from these guys and conserving my natives. I'll move him to his H1 side so that he can potentially undercut the movement of the horse and kill it. These ponies only take medium damage, of course. Heavy pikemen take on Bashkar 5. He's very fast, but won't be able to hurt him with his light 2 attack. He can't undercut that horse, so it doesn't matter which side up he is. And pikemen can lure the slow Bashkar 4. Now I'm facing the 2 most dangerous opponents, the ones who are medium side up with 1 sharpness star, but I'm armoured, so I can afford to attempt to take the hits. I hope that all made sense. Now, I'm not going to be able to undercut their horses, so I'm not going to bother alerting my weapon. And I'll choose one of them to attack. I'm lucky I've got my quick boots because neither of them can undercut me with their attacks. It doesn't really matter which one I take out. I might as well go for Bashkar 1. I'm hoping for an interception of his horse here. I can't undercut it. I can undercut it actually. That might be worth doing. Oh, I can't with my unalerted axe, sorry, after all of that. So let's just use those power gauntlets. My axe is shorter than their swords, which have got a length of 3. So there's no point in trying to protect my defense with my attack. I'll just use my very fast quick boots with the move. I'm going to protect my breastplate with my shield. The rest of them, it doesn't really matter where I position them. And we're just going to see what happens. Alright, ready. None of my natives died. I intercepted my target's horse and killed it. That's good. My weapon will stay unalerted, but he's now doesn't have a pony to protect him, so I can now target him directly. That was Bashkar 1, so I'm going to keep having a go at Bashkar 1. Good boy, Soldier 1 speared Bashkar 4's pony. Classic manoeuvre. He obviously charged him, and Soldier 1 grounded his pike and took out the horse. Great move. Soldier 2 didn't manage to intercept. Soldier 3 undercut, but his heavy attack was decreased 2 levels to light, which wasn't enough to kill the pony. That happens more often than you'd like to believe, unfortunately. So often Soldier 3 is a bit of a useless klutz. And Soldier HQ didn't intercept his, but we've killed 2 horses. That's a good start. I have to wound a chit, so I didn't notice I was obviously actually hit. My move M5 I don't need. In principle, I like to wound non-effort asterisk chits because they don't have to go back through the fatigue step when I'm resting, so I can rest them with one rest phase from wounded back to active, rather than a rest to fatigue and then a rest to active. And I don't need that move medium 5 chit because I have my quick boots, which act as a medium 3 move for me, which is nice. Alright, these denizens all become unlured again, so I'm going to lure, I'm going to have to re-lure them with these natives. Bashkar HQ, I'll lure with my Great Swordsman again because he can't be hurt by him, which is good. Who doesn't have a pony? Bashkar 4. He's only got light vulnerability, so the best one to lure here is my H1 attack Soldier 3. Even if he gets a decreased 2 level result on his missile table, he'll kill Bashkar 4 because there's no horse to defend him. So that's a good choice there. Once again, the pikeman can take on the other 2, and I'll be taking on. My weapon is unalerted still, but as we said, it doesn't really make much of a difference. I'm going to be taking on the other 2 Bashkars. Oh, my shield was damaged as well. I didn't point out in that last combat. I obviously didn't spot it. I was intercepted by one of the Bashkars who damaged my shield with a medium attack, and that wounded me through the attack. Now, they're still both doing medium damage. This one doesn't have a horse, so I would much rather target the one that I can possibly take out this turn. Alright. I don't have to play I might as well play my power gauntlets. It'll still be an attack time of 5. I can't undercut that time of 3, so it doesn't matter. I'm actually going to position my defense in the duck box this time. Breastplate's my most valuable piece of armor because it covers 2 locations, so I'd much rather start losing my armor in the smash box. So they're going to have to intercept again with an attack time of with a strength of medium. If they change tactics, that'll go to light and I'll be unaffected. So I think we're going to do pretty well this combat. Although maybe I might not do very well. That's not good. I didn't intercept my target. He moved. He was the one who didn't change tactics, so he intercepted my shield, destroyed my shield because it had already taken medium damage, and of course he's done me a wound through that. The other one changed tactics, so he's not going to cause me any harm now. Let's see what happened here. Soldier 1 killed his enemy's horse. Good move. Soldier 2 missed again, so his enemy's horse is still up and running. Soldier 3, as advertised, undercut his opponent who didn't have a horse, so it went straight to him. His missile roll was 4, which decreased at 1 level, so it went from heavy to medium, which was enough to kill a Bashkar who's light and unarmoured. Note I get the notoriety and the gold bounty. Do I get the gold bounty? No, I just get the notoriety. I think Soldier HQ gets the gold bounty for each of the ones it's killed. I can get that gold from him later, but I get the 4 notoriety, which is good. And I have to wound a chit. Same as last time, I've got that fight heavy 4 chit. I don't need the fight heavy 6. It has no effort asterisk, so by the same principle I'm going to wound it. Alright, we're down a denizen, so somebody else can take on one of these. So first of all, Soldier HQ is going to lure Bashkar HQ, who doesn't have a pony anymore. No, he'll take Bashkar HQ. I'll get Soldier 3 to lure this fellow off my sheet. We've lost one of the Bashkars is dead now, so I only have to face one, and he can undercut him with his fast fight time and potentially kill him. Of course, he could be killed by Bashkar 1 if he managed to get a bad missile roll, but that's worth the risk. Soldier 2 can keep batting away at Bashkar 3, and Soldier 1 can have a go at Bashkar 5. Is all our luring done? I think so. So I'm faced with Bashkar 2, who still has a horse. My weapon's now alerted, but I can't undercut that move time on that horse. Nothing for me to do in the encounter step. I'll assign to attack my target, who's on my sheet. I could, of course, attack the native on any of the other sheets, and I might elect to do that at some point. Certainly once we're down to less than, when there's less of them than there are of us, then I'll start attacking Bashkars who are on my soldiers' sheets. I think we're going to win this fight from the look of things. Having said that, things could go terribly wrong. This is the one I'm worried about. If Soldier 3 gets a bad roll, then Bashkar 1 will kill him if he doesn't change tactics. This fellow's still trying to take out the horse of this one, and Soldier 1's looking for an interception here. Oh, sorry. To do my attacks. My power gauntlets once again, I can't undercut that. Can undercut that horse. I'm not going to bother. My move, actually, I want to do it where my helmet is, so I don't bother. Actually, no, I've changed my mind. I am going to try and undercut that horse and kill it. Once again, I don't have to spend any fatigue with my quick boots, but that has a move time of 4, and my medium 3 will undercut it, and I'll do heavy damage, which is more than enough to kill that pony. The position doesn't matter on any of these sheets because they're only facing one opponent, so let's see what happens. Okay, Soldier 3 decreased 2 levels, but because the Bashkars are very wimpy, they're light and unarmoured, that was enough to kill him. Although it was a terrible missile table roll, he did undercut him, so he got an attack time faster than his defence time, which killed him. It was a good decision to target him with, because he didn't have a pony. Soldier HQ missed Bashkar HQ. Soldier 2 is having a bloody hard time with Bashkar 3. Missed entirely. Soldier 1 missed Bashkar 5. And how did I go? Killed the pony. I actually intercepted him. Although, as a pity, Bashkar, this Bashkar intercepted my manoeuvre. They've been doing that quite a lot, haven't they? Damaged my armour and has wounded me again. So I'm taking a bit of a beating here. However, I'm going to be able to get him off my sheet now, so that's a good thing. I have to fatigue a 1 asterisk fight counter because it was 2 asterisks worth of fight counter that I played initially. I don't need those fight heavy 5s with my power gauntlets of heavy 4, so that's a good one to fatigue. And I will fatigue my fight medium 5 here. Once again, with my power gauntlets, I don't need it. Wound my fight medium 5, because it has no effort asterisk. It's a good choice to wound based on the principles I mentioned before. 4 Bashkars now. I've taken a bit of a hammering, I've lost my shield, I've taken some wounds, and I've had my helmet damaged, but I can actually get this Bashkar off my sheet now, and I'm going to get someone else to lure him off. He is now defenceless without a horse, so I'm going to get my heavy 1 attack crossbowman to try and take him out, because that attack time of 1 will undercut even that very fast manoeuvre time of 2. Unless he gets a very bad roll or changes tactics, Bashkar 2 is dead. But it is possible Bashkar 2 could kill him. I'll let the soldier keep having a go at Bashkar HQ. My pikeman can lure Bashkar 3, who he still hasn't managed to connect with, and the pikeman can lure Bashkar 5. Now, we have one Bashkar who still has a horse. So, my choice to assign will be against that Bashkar, because he's the hardest one to deal with now because of he still has a pony. It needs to be taken out. No point in positioning any of these. There is a point positioning here. I'm going to have to, I can't undercut that pony, so I'm going to have to intercept. I might as well play the fight heavy 4 chit. Let's see what happens. Soldier 1 didn't intercept Bashkar 5. Soldier 2 and I both missed. Both missed that damn horse. There was a 2 in 3 chance of getting it, and we missed it. Bashkar 3 is wily, obviously. Soldier 3 decreased 1 level, so he's done medium damage. Bashkar 2 would have intercepted him, but wouldn't have damaged him anyway, because he was on his light with 1 sharpness star side. That armor would have taken away the sharpness star down to light damage. But Soldier 3 is actually proving his worth after me disparaging him. I feel guilty now. Oh, Soldier HQ got Bashkar HQ. Finally got him. Leader takes on leader. Good job. Okay, well done. All right, now 2 Bashkars left. One of them has a horse that we're having a lot of trouble killing. I think that the crossbowman is the best option to try and take out that horse. Now, I'd said before, the last person to deploy actually is the one who is targeted by the native. If you lure with one native and then deploy with another, it's actually the luring native. If there are only 2 of your hired natives assigning against a target and one of them lures and then the other one deploys, it's the luring native who will be the one who's the target, not the deployed one. If you then deploy more natives against that same target, then the third, fourth, fifth, the last one in the chain will be the one who is the target of that native. There's a complex reason for this, which I'm not going to go into because it will take time away from this example, but I'd recommend going to the luring and deploying sections of the rules in 3rd edition, which will actually explain all of that. So I have to remember, if I lure, that person's going to be the target.
Hey, bit of Back to the Future moment here. This is me in 2022 interrupting myself in 2009. The purpose of this interlude is to explain luring and deployment a bit better. The original intention of this video was to demonstrate leading hired natives and teaching how to use them in combat. And I was never really satisfied with young naive Brent's explanation. He tried his best, but he did cock it up a bit. So we're going to try to just address that briefly now. The problem that you'll see in a lot of combats in the video is that the captain mixes luring and deploying when he's assigning his hired natives against individual enemy denizens. The rules do cater for that, but it's really for edge cases, large multiplayer battles, lots of hired natives battling multiple enemy denizens. 99% of battles it's not going to apply, and it never applies in solo play. The take-home message is going to be that you just lure or just deploy your natives against individual enemy denizens. So what I've done here is I've mocked up a scenario in the battle builder. It's something that might equate to the battle we've just been seeing. It's in media res. There are 4 Bashkars left, only one of them left with a horse, so the soldiers have been doing pretty well, and they've all survived. The captain's taken a bit of a beating. He has a couple of wounds and he's lost his shield. So the 3 sequential steps that are important when you are assigning your hired natives against enemy denizens are luring, random assignment, and deployment. Random assignment in the middle is about unassigned enemy denizens assigning to the character sheets of any unhidden characters in the clearing. And when you're playing solo, of course, that's just going to be the captain. So the important steps are luring and deployment. So luring first. Why would you want to lure? When you lure, you take a denizen from the clearing or another character's or denizen sheet, and your hired native brings that enemy denizen onto their sheet. The advantage of that is that your hireling will stay on the side they're assigned to and will not change tactics. The disadvantage is that they'll be facing that enemy alone. So you want to do this when the fight time and maneuver time of the fight strength and time and the maneuver time of your hireling are critical. One great example is Soldier 3. He's got his dark side is great. H1 attack that undercuts everything, and his better maneuver time of 4. I think it's just strictly better than his lighter side. I think the lighter side is there so that you don't face the dangerous side. If you're up against him in a game where he's actually your enemy and you're fighting him, and therefore he only has a 30% chance of changing tactics to his good side, but if you're controlling him, you want him on his good side. We've been using that quite a lot in this battle already, because he's facing opponents who his crossbow is brutal against, particularly unmounted Bashkars. So we want him on this side. We want to lure one enemy so that he won't change tactics, and we will do that. So let's lure off the captain's sheet, Bashkar HQ. Why not him? He's probably the most dangerous opponent, and we want him to take him out. This is not necessarily best strategy, but we'll do this for purpose of demonstration. Let's take Soldier 1 to lure somebody. Now, because he can be killed by their medium attacks, he probably wants to lure one who has a light attack. So let's say Bashkar 2. Now, if Bashkar 2 flips, he's got a medium 4 attack, and that could kill Soldier 1. So we don't want Soldier 1 to be on his 5 maneuver side. We are hoping that he will get an interception of Bashkar 2 while he is still on his dark light attack side. So if we lure with Soldier 1, he'll stay on his 4 maneuver side and hope for an interception. He could die if Bashkar 2 flips and intercepts him, because he's got a faster fight time than Soldier 1. But that's Soldier's best chance if he's going toe-to-toe with Bashkar 2. Good. That's luring. Next is random assignment. So all remaining in this solo game, all remaining enemy denizens, the 2 remaining Bashkars, will go to the captain's sheet, which is not great for the captain, but we're now up to step 3, and his other natives are going to deploy. So why would you want to deploy? The advantage of deploying is that you can assign multiple hired natives against a single enemy denizen. They will take that enemy denizen off the captain's sheet and bring it back to its own sheet, and therefore you've got multiple chances of intercepting and killing that enemy. The disadvantage is that all deployed hired natives on an enemy denizen sheet are subject to the change tactics table. So you probably want to deploy when it doesn't really matter whether they change tactics or not. You don't always have that choice, but ideally that would be it. But you want multiple chances to intercept and kill the enemy. It should also be remembered that the last native deployed will be the target of the enemy denizen on that enemy denizen sheet. So why don't we deploy with Soldier 2 and Soldier HQ against one of these. Soldier HQ, as we've discussed, is invulnerable to the Bashkars because they can only do medium damage against him at most. So that's pretty good. So why don't we assign Soldier 1 against... We'll leave Bashkar 4 with his horse on my sheet. We want to be able to kill Bashkar 3, so we'll assign him against Bashkar 3. It doesn't really matter what side he's up because he can't undercut the fast and nimble Bashkar. And we'll deploy Soldier 2nd, HQ 2nd, so he'll be the target. Bashkar 3's on his own sheet, so he'll be the target of Bashkar 3's attack but can't be hurt by him. And the captain will face Bashkar 4 on his own sheet. We'll just assign against him. Doesn't really matter for the sake of demonstration. And so, Soldier 1, hoping that Bashkar 2 doesn't change tactics and that he can intercept him, but Bashkar 2 cannot undercut him if he does, even if he changes tactics, because Soldier 1 will not change tactics himself. We'll have that manoeuvre time of 4. Soldier 3 is facing Bashkar HQ alone on his sheet, but as long as he will undercut him, he will hit him, because he won't change tactics, because we lured with him, and he will kill him if he gets a good enough roll on the missile table. 70% chance he'll kill him. And we've got 2 opportunities to intercept and kill Bashkar 3 here, and it doesn't matter because their fight times can't undercut him, so whether they change tactics or not is fine. And Soldier HQ is invulnerable to him. And the outcome is, well, multiple deployments. We had a much increased chance of intercepting Bashkar 3 and successfully killed him. Soldier 3 didn't change tactics because he'd lured onto his own sheet. That's great. He had a missile roll of 2. He increased 1 level. He did tremendous damage. That's a bit of overkill. Anyway, Bashkar HQ is definitely dead. However, tragedy on this side. The Bashkar changed tactics, so he intercepted Soldier 1. Very low chance of that happening, but it did. But that was still Soldier 1's best chance. So, take-home message. Don't mix luring and deploying. Choose your luring and deploying based on the strategy you want to pursue in battle. And ignore all mention of mixing luring and deploying in the rest of this video. In fact, you might see some times when it actually causes problems for the captain and his soldiers as a demonstration of why you shouldn't do it. So I hope that's cleared things up, and we'll return you to your regularly scheduled program.
So what I'm going to do is Soldier HQ will lure Bashkar 3 because he'll be the target if I only deploy 1 more, and I'll deploy Soldier 3, hopefully, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry, I'll be deploying Soldier 3. Let's say Soldier 2 will lure Bashkar 5, and then we go on to deploying. Now, the lurer will be the target in each case here because I'm only assigning 2 against them. If I was assigning more, the last deployed one would be the target of the native. So I'm going to hope he takes out the horse here for Bashkar 3 because he's actually been doing pretty well. I'll deploy this pikeman against the Bashkar with no horse. I don't do anything in the encounter phase. I'm going to assign against the Bashkar with no horse. And we should get him, I would hope. Alright, I'll spread out our attacks here. We're going to have to intercept him. No, I'm going to try to undercut him with my fight M3. See if I can take him out. Because his maneuver time on this side, of course, is 4. And on this chit, I'm hoping Soldier 3 will kill the horse by undercutting it and getting a good enough roll on his attack. Soldier HQ, this was a good move because Soldier HQ is the target and is invulnerable to the Bashkar's attack. So this is a safe combat, this one. Ooh, 2 dead Bashkars. Excellent. Who did what? Oh, look. No. This didn't happen the way I thought it would happen at all. How did this work? They both intercepted the horse, but didn't have enough fast enough fight time to take out Bashkar 3. Couldn't undercut him. Don't quite know. I guess the horse was Bashkar 3's maneuver. Not quite sure what happened there. Soldier 3 intercepted the Bashkar. Presume because he intercepted his horse. I don't think that's quite right. Doesn't matter. We were going to win this anyway. Between Soldier HQ and Soldier 3, they've killed that Bashkar and his horse. And here, none of us intercepted that Bashkar, but my fight time of 3 undercut him, so I killed him. So, I've got a swag of notoriety from that lot. 27 notoriety in total, which is nice. And I've taken quite a bit of beating, so I'm going to have to fatigue. I'm going to have to do quite a bit of resting here. But we can start looting. Okay, myself right there. Giant bats are not here. What do they have? They've got ponies, which are nice. I wouldn't mind having a pony, which could carry me into combat and keep me protected. No, I could also sell some of them, of course, but they have a couple of treasures. It might be nice to stay here and get my Soldier HQ to loot while I rest up, and then we'll head into Cliff, hoping to get my fame and notoriety, because we're a bit short on both of those for the final week. So what I'm going to do is rest 4 times. I really think it's in 5 times. Another good reason for staying at this dwelling and resting. I'm hopefully small campfire. Oh, okay. It is a dangerous place, because the other thing that could turn up the small campfire are the woods folk, who are also enemies with me. Small campfire is not a nice place. The lancers, I think, are neutral with me, so it doesn't matter if they turn up. But I'm going to take the maximum opportunity to rest, and I'll get my Soldier HQ to start looting that site for me. So he's going to draw something every time. Finds a pony. Map of the Lost Castle. That might come in handy. Gloves of Strength. Okay. Before we go any further, actually no, he'll finish looting. He finds another pony. Let's look at these. Medium pony. The medium pony can carry me on both sides, and I'd really like to have him. The pony, of course, doubles my movement phases as well. We could really rip around the realm with those two, with that pony. Map of Lost Castle's handy. Gloves of Strength, Fight Tremendous 5. That's a bit of overkill for me. I could sell it to the Order for 5 fame, and we're short of fame. It would take me quite a bit of doing to get back there, but maybe with a pony I'll be able to do that. What I'm going to do is get my... Sorry, he's done. Before we go any further, I'm going to get the Soldier HQ like a good boy, to give me everything he's found. I am the boss, so he's going to add them all to the inventory trade, and that will all come to me. First thing I'm going to do is activate that, which pony was it? It's this one. I'm going to activate the medium pony, the one who's got medium on both sides. Now, because that's activated, it has to be able to carry everything I'm carrying, but it's got medium carrying capacity, so it can. I can use it in combat as my maneuver chit, and it's basically a defense for me because it will be hit first, just like with the bash cars. And it doubles my movement phases. Makes me move very fast, and my natives will be able to follow me. Oh, look at this. Woods folk have turned up. Don't know what I think about that. Okay, I think we're in another fight with natives. Oh, that wasn't the plan, but anyway, me saying that's a 1 in 6 chance, and it's happened. These sorts of things happen in the realm. All right, I'm going to rest 5 times. It looks like I'm really going to need to. These move and fight chits are not very necessary, but they're good for when I get wounded. So I'm going to rest 2 of the 1 asterisk counters, and I'll rest all of those wounded counters. So I've almost fully rested, which was a good thing, because we're in trouble. I could buy drinks for the wood folk and go up onto the neutral table and decrease the chance that we would be attacked by them. If I were hidden, I could attack them, but I'm using watchful natives, so it makes no difference at all. So if you get into a fight with them, it's going to be a straight up fight. The woods folk are very dangerous. There are only 3 of them, and they do no damage on this side. But when they flip to their other side, they've got bows that do quite nasty damage, and they roll 1 die on the missile table. They're well capable of taking out any of us. Less so me because I'm armoured, but they are dangerous opponents, and they're fast. They're hard to hit. No. Okay, do I lose 5 fame points and be blocked by them? No. We're going to get into a fight. Okay. Look, it's what we're here for. So now what do we do? I don't want to be hit by all 3 of them. My natives are valuable. I don't want to lose them. However, I am going to have to lure some of these guys off my sheet because they are too dangerous. Soldier HQ has got heavy vulnerability. When these guys flip, the Woodsfolk 1 and 2 do light +2 sharpness stars. Woodsfolk HQ does medium +2 sharpness stars. His does tremendous straight off the bat. Against me or any of my natives, we're all armoured, so we can knock 1 sharpness star off all of those. But they roll 1 die on the missile table roll. They're quite capable of increasing their attacks by up to 2 levels as well. Now there's a 70% chance that they'll stay, they won't change tactics, and they'll stay on this side. And that's pretty good odds. I'm going to assign 1 of them against me, so I'm going to leave 1 of them attacking me in the hope that my natives will be able to take out the others. And I guess there's a reasonable chance that they'll do so. The other problem is that, especially in the first round of combat, if they flip, all of their weapon lengths are longer than ours, so they'll hit first. And with those attack time of 1, they'll undercut, so they'll definitely hit us. I'm going to let the Soldier HQ take on 1 of the Woods folk on his own. His manoeuvre time doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which side I flip him to. He'll do enough damage if he intercepts, but he won't be able to undercut them. So that doesn't matter. Because I'm assigning 3 natives against the next one, and I'm hoping by doing that to guarantee a kill on them. There's no guarantee, but I'm hoping to get 1 of them. Probably my most valuable is my crossbowman, so I'll lure with him. Woodsfolk HQ is the most dangerous of them, so he's the one I'm hoping to take out first. I'll flip him to his attack time of 1, so he'll undercut that time of 2. The last one to deploy, because I'm assigning 3 natives, not 2, sorry, this is complicated, is going to be the one who's the target of Woodsfolk HQ. It doesn't matter which side yet again. They can't undercut, and they will be undercut if they're attacked, so it really doesn't make any difference. He's going to Woodsfolk HQ. So what I'm hoping to do is maximising my chance of killing Woodsfolk HQ, only assigning 1 opponent to each of the other 2. I'm one of them, Soldier HQ is the other. and Woods Folk 2 is mine. I don't bother doing anything in the encounter phase. Alerting my chit's going to be useless to me. I'm assigning to attack the Woods Folk on my sheet. Now, there's no point in my playing a manoeuvre. If he flips to his type, if he stays on this side, he doesn't attack me. If he flips on a 30% chance to his other side, he has an attack time of 1 and he'll hit me. There's no point in my playing a manoeuvre. I am protected by armour. I'm just going to hope I can intercept him. Might as well use my power gauntlets. Soldier HQ's on his own against Woods Folk 1. Here I'm going to spread out my attackers. They can change positions, they can change tactics. I've got no control over that. If Woods Folk HQ changes tactics, it's a very good chance he's going to kill Soldier 1. But I'm hoping that he won't. There's only a 30% chance that he will. Let's see what happens. Oh, good hit, Red 9. Okay, he didn't change tactics. Soldier 1 maintained his discipline, didn't change tactics, didn't move, reposition, and he took out Soldier HQ. 4 notoriety. I'm doing well in the notoriety stakes. Fame's my problem here, but having fun knocking out these natives. Something very interesting. I'm going to be made a liar here because something very interesting's happened. Soldier HQ didn't intercept Woods Folk 1, who also didn't change tactics. Woods Folk 2 didn't change tactics either. Of course, he would have hit me, but that doesn't matter. All right. Now what do we do? I want to maximise my chance again of taking out one of the Woods Folk. I'm very lucky none of them changed tactics. That was a really good turn. So Woods Folk 2, I'm going to get Soldier HQ to lure him off my sheet. Done. Same tactics as last time. Woods Folk 1, he's going to do the luring. These two are going to do the deploying. Doesn't matter which side. Sorry, I'm not luring with them. Excuse me. I'm deploying with them to Woods Folk 1. Once again, poor Soldier 1 is going to be Woods Folk 1's target. Now, I don't bother alerting, but I'm going to assign to attack, and I will help out Soldier HQ here by attempting to take out Woods Folk 2. Best result is if they don't change tactics again. They're completely harmless if they don't. They're great as hired natives because you don't have, well, they can change tactics, but you can assign them to their dangerous side when you deploy them. So they're great when you've got them hired. They're a bit unpredictable when they're not hired. So once again, spreading out the attacks of these three, hoping one of them will get Woods Folk 1. And I'll spread out our attacks here. I can't undercut him. I might as well just use the time 4 on the power gauntlets. Let's see what happens. All right. Good result, boys. He didn't change tactics. Soldier 2 intercepted him and killed him with his heavy attack. Good result here. Soldier HQ intercepted him, killed him with his heavy attack. He didn't change tactics. We got lucky. 2 rounds, no tactics changed. Whole lot of notoriety gained. I'm on 39 notoriety, almost at my 40 I need. Fame's going to be a problem, but I've killed off 2 enemy groups. The Bashkars, I haven't lost any of my soldiers. I've lost a little bit of armour, but we've done very, very well. We're into day 20. Let's get looting. Now, the interesting thing here is, I'm not going to hide again. I keep saying nothing dangerous will turn up, and it keeps turning up, but now I've killed both those native groups. I don't think the only others who can turn up here are the Lancers, and they're neutral to me. So, now the interesting thing here is I'm going to loot the clearing. Oh, another pony. Just looking at the clearing, I said I've got no chance of getting a missile weapon. Look at that. Bows. So I might well get a missile weapon and I'll be able to use my aim ability. As I said, it's very unlikely, but anything can happen in the realm, so I'm hoping I'll find a bow. More ponies. There we go, light bow. Why don't I activate it now? It's a good weapon. Okay, continue to loot. Gripping dust. Oh, great item. It's a potion. Weapon stays alerted, so it's a day where potions, when activated, remain in play for the day, and that gripping dust would keep my bow alerted. Look, the bow does nothing on this side. On the other side, it has an attack time of 1 and light with 2 sharpness stars. The problem with the bow is it becomes unalerted. When it hits with gripping dust, it won't. I could have an alerted bow all day. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Doing well. The Beast Pipes. Artifact of the Type 8 spell. Not, I won't be able to use it. It's giving me -5 fame, so I might try to dump it before we're done. Just have to remember that. Pretty good. Okay, Soldier HQ. See if he can loot out the rest. Nothing. Light bow. Nothing. Pony. I would have loved to get the medium bow. That would have been a real bonus, but because it really hits hard. Medium plus 2 sharpness stars, but I didn't get it, and I'm not going to hang around here trying to find it. We've only got one day left this week, and then the last week to come. I will get the Soldier to give me the rest of Soldier HQ to give me the rest of the stuff he got. We could sell a huge amount of this stuff to the rogues, but I think what we'll do for our last phases is move into Cliff. Here I get double my movement because I'm riding a pony. I'll hide once, of course, and I might search for that secret passage because there's nothing else to do here. Actually, no, I won't do that. I'll search once and I'll alert that bow. I'm dying to use that with my aim ability. This almost never happens. So. And Soldier HQ will follow me, of course. Last day of this week, I've got plenty of notoriety. I only need one more to satisfy my victory condition, but I need a lot more fame. And I'm also going to have to get a bit more gold. So he's following me. Now, the first thing I want to do is trade with my Soldier HQ. If he was killed, everything he had with him would go, and he's looted quite a bit of stuff. So from his inventory, I'll add that light bow and this pony, which he'll give to me. And he had some gold. He had 4 gold. Obviously doesn't want to give that to me. It's okay, he can keep it. He's done very well. Okay, I've successfully hidden. I'm going to search for secret passages. That's on the locate table. It's a result of 3 or less. I didn't find it. I'll alert my bow, not knowing what's turning up here. Soldier HQ follows. Yep, nothing summoned to our sheet, but there we go. Lost Castle. I knew it was either going to be here or Crag. Lost Castle is good because it's going to be full of monsters, and I need monsters now to get fame. I've got a whole week. We've just finished that week. I need a whole week. I'll look at these at the beginning of the 4th week, but I need a whole week to get fame. I've got the soldiers with me. I've got a bow. Gripping dust. I'm feeling like I can take on anything that might appear here, but of course we'll have to survive the week. But I've got high hopes that I'm going to have a week of combat and actually get my fame and notoriety that I need. Okay, that's it for week 3. That was a good week. Managed to kill off a couple of native groups with my hired soldiers, loot a lot of their stuff, and I will try and sell that a bit later. But for now, we've come into a potentially monster-heavy site, and we're going to attempt to get into some battle, take out some monsters, and win this game in the final week. And I hope you join me for that. Thank you for watching.